This is stage 26, which is the battery holder, and following that, stage 27 will be fitting the battery holder to the actual model. Not difficult, these, pretty straightforward. I've got the parts that I need already here. There's a sponge tape required, you get a length of it. You need to cut 2 pieces there, and they go in here. They are a support for the battery to stop it rattling within the battery case, and they fit more or less exactly where I've sort of thrown them there. So let's just put those in first. There we go, there's one. And the second one goes just the other side of there, which will be about there. There you go. That wasn't hard. We've now got to fit the door, the opening door, which goes in here, like this. To do that, we need 2 screws. Might be easier if we just did this large clip holding peg first. Can be quite stiff putting that in there. I personally just put a little bit of grease in there, just a touch, not as much in there, or just allow it to go in a little bit easier. Let's use a nut driver for this. Just find the size that fits, which is that one there, and give it a go. That's a good start. Dropped it. Dead easy with a nut driver. And see, even that goes quite stiff. You clip, it shows in the diagram, goes in like that, so the holes need to be in line, obviously, for the clip to do that. I just have to come back on that because I can't get it to go exactly where I want it to go. There you go. That's good. Standing up a touch. See if I don't want to go and break the strip the plastic. I've just about got away with that with another half a turn. Let's try that again. That's better. Just to hold it in place while you put your screws in. Pop your clip in. 2 small washers. 2 self-tapping screws. The washers do all the work here. They hold the bar in place, the rotating bar in place, I should say. Not easy to turn that round. So hold on to it while I do it. Let's cut it. That one's in. Good old JIS screwdrivers. Don't use a Phillips or a posi drive or anything like that because they don't grip properly. These are getting a bit worn now, it's about time I replace them, that's why they slip slightly. There we go. Now, obviously that needs to operate smoothly, which it does. If it's tight, just undo it a little bit. Believe it or not, that's 26, stage 26 done. At stage 27, we fix it with a chassis with 4 of these. And they have to have thread lock on them as well. So let's just bring this forward. Easy to take it off the stand, obviously, so it's underneath. The diagram shows that they fit here where these holes are, and they will line up. Let's make sure I get this the right way around. That's showing Asper diagram like that and like that. You'll note there's a cutout in there for the chassis to fit, and that's where it's going to go. Starting to look like a model. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. As usual, get all of your screws in first before you start tightening them up. To me, this stuff is very precise anyway, but occasionally you'll get something that doesn't quite align if you've got 2 screws and you do one of them up tight before the other one. That's a bit of a mouthful, wasn't it? It's 3. Put it on the right way around. Telling you put it the other way anyway, because this would catch this servo if you did. Plus the transmission cutout would be in the wrong place and it would fail. There we go. The only other thing that's left now in stage 27 is to just fit a couple of stickers on the bottom of here. Other than that, stage 27 is complete. Moving on now to stage 28 is the rear tail lights. I've already got the parts here and the few screws that are needed to put together, and the LEDs which I put together in a previous video. I can't in half an hour's video paint these items, so I've done these in advance. These are sprayed silver or aluminium, and I've put a number plate on, and the lens is on ready for the LEDs to go in the back. On this model, the Tipper, it has guards over the rear lights as well. They need to go on first before they fit onto this plate. Then the mud flap goes behind and the bracket holds it all together, sandwiching the LEDs in the middle. So the first thing we need to do is to it doesn't tell you to do this, but I'm going to because it'll make life easier for me, is to glue a couple of parts together. Just going to grab a very fine what is in effect used normally for winding holes. Not big enough, slightly bigger. I just want to take a little bit of the paint off there, the reason being that I've got to put glue into there and it doesn't like sticking. Well, it will stick to the paint, but nowhere near as well as you probably know. I'm using this because it's quite sharp. There we go, let's expose the paint on both sides. The way this fits is it just hooks over the back and then glues into those two positions there. So this is the first thing I'm going to do, is glue that to that and then glue that to that. So you come back and join me in a minute when I've just glued those together. Okay, you join me back on stage 28 where I've glued the panel to this panel and put the guard on for the lenses. Why have I done that? Well, because you've got to put the LEDs in there, and to try and hold all of these parts together, put the flap on the back and the metal panel and put two screws in, can be quite tricky to do. So that's given me one extra pair of hands, let's put it that way. On this particular side, these three LEDs are going in. The reds are common to all three, which is the positive line. The outputs are the negative rails, which are the green, blue and white. The blue is the indicator, so that's offside indicator, this being the offside part. That'll be the offside stop and tail, and the white one is the reversing light, which is a smaller LED, as you can see. You'll note that I've finished the shrinking short of the LEDs. That is deliberate, although I don't need them on the rear lights. On the front lights I will, because you need to put a small plastic piece over the back of the LED to clamp it in place, and if you've got these on, it can be very difficult to get them on. So that one being the indicator is going in the indicator one, which you can see is that one there. So that's going in there. That one will be the brake light, which goes in there, and that one will be the reverse light, which goes in there. So that's where they go. Now the tricky part is you've got to bend these all now at 90 degrees because they need to come out here, because you've got a metal plate going on the back that does not have holes in it, and if you did have holes in it, there'd be nothing to hold these LEDs in place. So what we've got to try and do, quite trickily, is bend all three of these down so that they go underneath. You can do it. Try not to break the, just keeping those in place with my finger. This one here, just trying to work out the best place I can run it, just to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to try and route this one now. Well, you join me back, having completed both of these parts. It took me a long time to do them. Getting the wires in the back was quite tight and quite difficult in the space that we'd got behind there, and being able to pull them down tight enough that this should be flush on the back. I think the two items took me in the region of about an hour to get them right, exactly where I want. So I'm sorry I didn't show you that part being assembled. I'm sure you can see how they go together, but watching me struggle for an hour might have been amusing, but it might also have been quite boring to you as well. So they're complete now. That will be the end of stage 29. I'll put some black insulation tape around the wires. These are my wires that will run all the way to the front to the controller, the red being the positive. I've got blue and green, which are left and right indicators, and the other two are reversing lights and stop and tail. So that's pretty straightforward. That's it. Next one will be stage 30, where we fit these to the truck.